If you've been feeling overwhelmed with anxiety lately, try listening to a guided meditation on the Meditation for Anxiety podcast. Meditation is a proven, natural way to help you calm down and dissolve stress so you can feel lighter and happier. So subscribe for free today to the Meditation for Anxiety podcast by searching for Meditation for Anxiety on your favorite podcast player.
This is Optimal Finance Daily, episode 2518. I looked before I leapt. How I spent the last 4.5 years getting ready to quit my job and travel the world, by Julie B. Rose of juliedevive.com. And I'm your host and personal finance enthusiast, Diana Merriam. We have a new author today. I'll tell you more about Julie right after the reading. But for now, let's get right to today's post as we optimize your life. I looked before I leapt. How I spent the last 4.5 years getting ready to quit my job and travel the world, by Julie B. Rose of juliedevive.com. By the time you're listening to this, I've already made my great escape. I've left my job, my family, and my country of origin behind, and I'm off traveling the world, currently in Mexico. But before you ask if I'm taking crazy pills, I've prepared for this. It didn't come out of nowhere. This was not a decision made lightly or instantly, however it may seem to outsiders. The truth is, it's been a goal of mine to travel the world and pursue my passion project ever since I returned from my 4-week backpacking trip to Europe in the summer of 2017. While I've done other work, the desire has burned deep inside my heart, a dream unforgotten. And so like any true lingering goal, I worked hard for years to make it a reality and made incremental gains where I could. But first, I spent a lot of money in my 20s and early 30s. I thought nothing of it at the time. I had made it, right? My salary had increased over the years, and with it came an increase in my lifestyle. New cars, new clothes, a new house, nice decor, and home improvements. But there were months that I was living paycheck to paycheck, barely able to get ahead for the next emergency, the storm damage to my roof, the new set of tires. But flashback to 2017. Why shouldn't I remodel my kitchen and make a few other big purchases? My savings really dwindled, but it was okay because I was expecting an annual bonus at my company. But my employer wasn't profitable enough that year to pay out bonuses. And then I got the shocker of my life. I was laid off. With the severance package and my newfound free time, I jumped at the opportunity to escape overseas and talked myself into it when I started to chicken out over money. I had the 4-week trip of a lifetime, which completely changed my priorities and my outlook on life, and thus began my metamorphosis. First, I got my finances in order. I saved money and I made money. When I got back from Europe, after overspending my budget about 20%, oops, too many missed train rides, my first goal was to replenish my savings, which had dwindled to a measly $1,500. My severance had run out. I was on unemployment benefits, a measly $240 a week in Arizona. And I was worried about paying my $1,350 mortgage payment. But finally, I found a job. A good one. It was serendipitous. It suited my experience level and interests and paid commensurately. I negotiated and got a signing bonus. Hello, good start on my emergency fund. Next, I refinanced my home from a 15-year mortgage into a 30-year, reducing my payment by a little bit more than $400 a month. I upped my 401k contribution amount at the same time, from the company match amount to about 20% of my paycheck. Since my mortgage payment was lower, I was able to put more towards replenishing my savings and investing in my future. I then put my 3-bedroom, 2-bath house, nicely remodeled if you recall, on the vacation home rental market. Phoenix is a verifiable vacation spot in the winter months and attracts people from all over the country, mainly the Midwest, for its golf, auto shows, horse shows, and baseball spring training, not to mention the gorgeous mild winter weather and desert mountain landscape. I was able to rent my fully furnished house from Christmas to Easter and move into an affordable studio for that time period. Before I even moved back into my house in spring 2018, I had saved over $10,000, and I kept going. I rented out my spare bedroom in the off-season, effectively paying the entirety of my mortgage, and continued to allow bookings for the whole house every spring, including March 2020. Sure, people were in my house using my things, but they were just that, things. Why should I have any attachment at all to them? My rental business allowed me to not only fill up my emergency fund coffers, my goal of 30 grand, but it allowed me to contribute the yearly max to my Roth IRA at $6,000 a year for 3 years. In the meantime, my decreased spending meant that I could also contribute the yearly pre-tax max to my 401k for 3 years. Once I hit all of my milestones each year, the fully funded emergency fund, the 401k, the Roth IRA, I paid off my car, the only remaining liability on my balance sheet besides my house. During those 4 years, I had taken a good hard look at my budget habits, and I was determined to be more conscientious about my purchases and live beneath my means. I cut back on eating out, on shopping, on extravagant and unnecessary items, and never spent more than I earned. Then I sold my house and became a nomad, permanently detaching myself from 99% of my earthly belongings. In the fall of 2020, I sold my house in Phoenix and almost everything in it, making a tidy profit, which went immediately into a brokerage for either a future home purchase or possibly funding other hopes and dreams around my future lifestyle. I continued to work remotely and travel the US by car, keeping to a budget. In fact, I spent less in 2021 than I spent living a mostly traditional homebound life in 2020, although I was missing the rental income, which was significant. Still, I was free to work from anywhere in an American time zone with reliable Wi-Fi, approximately 40 hours a week. But I felt the itch to truly be free, to not be chained to a desk and a laptop, checking the clock for the next meeting, to have ownership not only of my time, but all the space in my brain, to use my mental energies in pursuit of my own priorities and creative endeavors. Even if that meant giving up a 6-figure salary, company-sponsored health insurance, and a job I enjoyed, which felt like a little piece of my identity. I quit in December 2021. I quit my job and denounced the golden handcuffs. In January 2022, in order to make my savings go as far as possible, I've moved to Mexico for 6 months, and there's a good chance I'll pursue temporary residency. Stay tuned. Sure, I could have kept working and collecting a paycheck and continued to save while traveling and writing in my free time, but when would enough be enough? For me, it isn't about making a ton of money. It's about living my life to the fullest when I have health and opportunity to do so. It's about being happy on a Monday morning, not dreading the work week ahead. I can make more money later, but I can't make more time. In fact, I don't even make money on this blog. The domain and website and email hosting actually costs me money. My motivation is really to inspire each and every one of you to create the life that you dream of, whatever that looks like, one incremental step at a time. Finally, a footnote. Before you say, I'm one of those people who will never get ahead, who will never be able to save, who will never be able to not work. In 2017, I had no job, a car I owed on, a $1,350 house payment on a house full of stuff I never used, peanuts in my 401k, and only $1,500 in cash. That was my situation, and I made changes. You can too. The sooner the better. You just listened to the post titled, I Looked Before I Leapt, How I Spent the Last 4.5 years Getting Ready to Quit My Job and Travel the World, by Julie B. Rose of juliedevive.com. We talk about finances here on the show every day, but there's always more to learn. And lately, I'm proud to say that my own knowledge of economics has reached a new level thanks to our sponsor, Masterclass. Masterclass is an app and streaming platform that makes a meaningful gift this season. because you can help a loved one learn a new skill from the world's best performers. It's like masterclass instructors are your own personal mentors, providing content and videos that are going to help you reach the next level. For just $10 a month, there are 11 categories and over 180 masterclasses to pick from, with new classes added every month, like Paul Krugman's class, which helped me gain a better understanding of global economics, something that has absolutely influenced my personal finance decisions. This holiday season, give one annual membership and get one free at masterclass.com/optimalfinance. Right now, you can get 2 memberships for the price of one at masterclass.com/optimalfinance. Masterclass.com/optimalfinance. Offer terms apply. Labor strikes, climate change, your beat up office printer. What do they all have in common? Come on, it's about the money. Economics is everywhere and everything, fueling our lives, even where we least expect it. If you're a fan of Optimal Finance Daily and are curious to learn something new and exciting about economics every week, I recommend you listen to the Planet Money podcast from NPR. Planet Money is a different kind of world where the complex economy actually makes sense. Listeners can learn, laugh, and be entertained. And in addition, I find it to be really educational. Money can be confusing, and Planet Money is great at providing straightforward explanations for how money is really moving in ways we're usually kept in the dark about. The Planet Money team lives to tell a good story in around 30 minutes. It's econ for the rest of us. Tune in to Planet Money every week for entertaining stories and insights about how money shapes our world, stories that can't be found anywhere else. Listen now to Planet Money from NPR, wherever you get your podcasts. Thank you to Julie. Bitten by the solo travel bug at a young age, Julie became a full-time nomad in 2020 when she sold her house and 98% of her belongings to travel 24/7. Since then, her nomadic lifestyle has taken her across all 50 US states, Mexico, Europe, and South America, and she typically spends 10 to 11 months of the year outside of the US. Julie loves to share her experiences and perspectives on her blog and social media, showing others that a life that goes against the norm, one filled with travel, is both fulfilling and attainable. Julie has written an ebook that helps people who dream of quitting their jobs to embark on a life-changing journey around the world. Money and Mindset: How to Take a Sabbatical helps readers who want to take a career break but are worried about money, the impact to their career trajectory and personal finance, filling their time, and making friends, addressing all the questions and uncertainties that come with such a decision. You can find the book at juliedevive.com/ebook. This article is a great example of the power of having a clear goal when it comes to money. I've come to realize that money is only as valuable as your clarity on how you're going to use it and your comfort level of how much is enough. I think because Julie was so clear on what she wanted, it gave her the stamina, creativity, and willpower to tolerate some sacrifices to reach her goal. Sometimes when we see someone else pursue an ambitious goal or overcome a huge challenge, it can be discouraging because from our perspective, it seems out of reach for us. But I think it's important to remember that context matters. Julie has a unique set of circumstances that allowed her to pursue her goal in a specific way. I don't think the lesson is to try and do exactly what she did. I think the inspiration is to figure out how to leverage your own circumstances to get what you really want. What if we didn't need more money, time, or resources? What if we just needed more imagination and a perspective shift? There's a great book called Designing Your Life by 2 Stanford professors that comes to mind. I've engaged with it a couple of times and have enjoyed how it has helped me ask better questions and see my life as an interesting puzzle with multiple solutions versus a test with a right or wrong answer. But that'll do it for today. Thank you for subscribing or following the show. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you tomorrow where your optimal life awaits.